Attitude's number one. Effort's number two.
I'm an effort.
You're an effort guy?
I'm an effort first.
So if you had a kid who gave 100% effort but just had a crappy attitude.
I don't think a kid with 100% effort.
And see, I'm the guy. I think a kid with a good attitude is going to give you good effort.
I think a kid with a good attitude won't always give you good effort.
So what do you mean by attitude?
Who's on first?
Are you talking about? One lesson my children have taught me that surprised me. It's probably a lesson every parent learns when you have kids, is that the world does not revolve around you. I think she likes my kids more than me, or at least she did until they were teenagers. I don't know if she loves them more. I mean, well, first off, I don't think you should be playing youth sports with the goal of making it to college or professional. I don't think that's the right goal for youth sports.
That's what I'm always thinking.
I don't think that's the right goal.
I'm trying to get me one.
I think, hey, it's your boy Nick Saban. We always talk about it, right? Outcomes are a distraction, right? So if that's your outcome when you're playing anything and that's all you're focused on, you're missing out on the lessons that you're supposed to be learning from youth sports.
That's good.
So I operate a football team off of 5 rules. The number one rule, most important one, is always keep your head up. Number 2 is max effort, max focus. Number 3 is I can't does not exist. 4 is, just do your job. And then 5 is it's a privilege to play this game and have fun.
Welcome to the New Dad Order Podcast. My name is Ray. We got Parfait over there.
How's it going, everybody? Ray, how are you doing?
Doing very well, man. But we got a guest in the studio today.
That we do. Would you like to go ahead and introduce him?
I sure will.
All right. What you got?
We got my buddy, Coach Cody Jones, in the house. He's the commissioner of the Springfield Youth Football Organization. 3-time, I don't know how, but 3-time Park League champion of 11, 13-year-old football boys. Loving husband, father of 2, and the father of 1 dog. Welcome to the show, Cody.
Appreciate it.
Cody, nice to have you on. So, Cody, so you and Ray, it's the first time you and I get a chance to meet each other, but Ray being the big football guy in our community, and it seems that you have a pretty big presence as well with that, being the director of Springfield Youth Football. Obviously, that's not a career, that's a choice to make to be involved in something like that. What took you into the steps of getting involved in youth football in the area?
So I dabbled in it when I was, in my 20s. I had a friend. I was in martial arts. I helped him coach a couple youth teams. Never really did anything after that. And then our son got talked into playing tackle football. Started at 7 when he started playing when he was 6. And his head coach at the time, Bobby Johnson, who was the Springfield commissioner, kind of gave me a gentle shove and said, "Hey, I need help coaching. Here you go." And then end of the season, he's like, "Hey, I can't make the All-Star game. I need you to coach the All-Star game. Here you go." And then, I just, after that, it was every year, whether I was with my son's team and Bobby, or sometimes I had some other guys I coached with. And then I was 11, 12 years ago we started that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
To you about Thursday. Thursday dropped a new flavor, salted caramel. The taste of it is so good. Still the same results that you can get from the strawberry lemonade one as well. I've been using it for the last year. Still waking up at 3:50 in the morning. Body is still recovered, ready to get on the next workout. But give it a shot. Promo code NDOZZZ for a discount at checkout. So I've been coaching, but you coached prior to that, or did you ever coach before you had kids? I know sometimes.
Yeah, I did a couple years when I was in my 20s.
Football?
Yeah,
only?
Football. Oh, no, yeah, football. Now, we also coached, because we're also on the board for Springfield Youth, because we have football, basketball, baseball, and we just started volleyball up.
Volleyball is the new thing now. I think it's late to this area, to be honest with you, because I grew up in Houma, so an hour or so away from here, and my niece, she's 25 now, right? So soccer was really big in the girl sports. All of them played soccer, and then her cousin, so my sister-in-law's niece, she was big soccer kid, and then she just graduated high school. But there was a shift about 4 years in there where she shifted from soccer to volleyball. So that was down like in Terrebonne Lafourche Parish. And then it seems like in the last couple of years it started to grow here because Pard, they have, in fact, my wife actually coaches Pard volleyball. And then we have one child. It's a 10-year-old son. And it's co-ed, and he wanted to play volleyball. And he's like, "Mom, you have to coach me." And I'm like, perfect. So I get him in baseball, and she gets him in volleyball. So it seems to be a big trend with it, the recreation department starting.
We had a lot of people wanting to do it and request it, so we're like, we got a need for it in the community. So.
That's good. So you had volunteers that were able and willing, or did you have to go out and find coaches? Or
yeah, we had enough volunteers, and then the middle school volleyball coaches are helping kind of train.
That's
the
really
coaches.
good. Yeah,
trying to help train the
coaches
and kind of tell them what they need to do.
That's such a big part of recreation departments, and it seems like that happens a lot more here than where I grew up. It seems like there seems to be a hand on the recreation departments, whether it be with Ponchatoula High, and obviously you're saying with Springfield High, and I heard the same thing from people out in Albany. And to get that kind of community outreach, I guess it makes sense from a coach perspective, because those are going to be potentially the kids that you're coaching. And so you'd hate to have them with poor fundamentals, if you can help.
Yeah, so the more help you can get from the schools, the better. It hadn't always been like that, but it's getting a lot better.
So it's good to see. Embrace the the recreation program from the local high schools as well. And so with football, what's your favorite part of coaching football?
My favorite part.
And I don't necessarily. It could be X's and O's. It could be dealing with parents, because that's always fun whenever you coach.
No.
It could be coaching the best player. It could be seeing the kid that didn't even want to be out there and come to it. Just if you had to think of,
it's kids first. I mean, that's the main reason I do it. I love football, but obviously I'm out there because I'm sure it's like this in every community. There's a lot of kids that need mentors and father figures out there. So that's number one for me. That's really what I enjoy. The best feeling in the world, and Coach Ray can probably tell you this, is seeing a kid that's graduated or in college, and you see them out somewhere and they come up to you and give you a big hug and talk to you, still call you coach. So that's the best part about it. I mean, that's really what we're out there for.
Yeah, that hasn't happened to me yet.
Oh, you're lying.
It's also a good sign that you're old.
Yeah, we got a lot of signs of those. I don't want to talk about those. So that's the best part. But man, I love the challenge. Especially when I used to coach against this guy. You get your butt whooped one week, you got to go back and figure out.
There you go. That's what I was kind of looking for. We always know it's about the kids, but no,
that's me, man. That's the challenge. I'm trying to figure it out in my head. I'm a big strategist guy. I love strategy games. I'm trying to figure out, how to get to the end, how to win the whole thing.
Gotcha. Well, when you go against a guy like Ray, you go against him enough, you should be able to figure it out. He's got played college football. CTE sets in. You'll probably get a glimpse of that at some point in time whenever we're having this conversation.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm coaching with him now, not against him.
That's always
makes it easier.
Yeah, we talk about Ray like he's not even here. So
while you were developing, did you start 11-13? You didn't start 11-13.
No. I bounced around a lot. 11 and 13 would have been the year before COVID when I started 11-13. And then I've been in that every year except one. That year we didn't have 11 and 13. Right before I took over, I don't even remember, we had a guy named Rodney. Bobby asked me to take over originally, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I can commit to it with work, but I'll help the new guy. So Rodney came in. Rodney didn't want to have an 11 and 13 team that year. So I dropped down to coach 9 and 10, but that was just for 1 year. So I've been.
Is that where it caps out in age for rec?
13. A lot of recs are 12. Ours has always been 13, which is great because it allows kids like in Ponchatoula that don't make the middle school team or don't get any playing time.
Still have an option to keep progressing.
They can play all the way until they get to high school. Assuming they don't fail or get held back or
outside of
that.
extenuating circumstances. What age does it start for tackle football?
5 now.
5.
We used to do 7.
Thoughts on that?
I was always against it until we did it, and I think it's great, and we loved it. So we started about 3 years ago. We started doing some jamboree and exhibition games with some of the North Shore League teams.
Okay.
I was friends with the guy that runs the Coquille Gators, and they started their tackle program at 5. 5 and 6 for us has always been flag, which honestly doesn't really translate over into, not a whole lot of football stuff. It's a different animal, right? So we went over there and played them the first year, and our 7 and 8 team that year didn't lose a game in Ponchatoula. We got handled when we went to Coquille. Those kids had been playing tackle football for 3 and 4 years together. There's a big difference. You could tell the difference in their tackling, their form, their just everything. So that kind of changed my mind on it. And then when the original PARDS, Ponchatoula Youth Football League dissolved and we had to kind of start our own thing, several of the other organizations that we got involved in had 5 and 6 tackles. So I was like, okay, now it's time to do it. So last year was our first year. It was great. I loved it.
What was your biggest, when you said you weren't in favor of it, what was it that you opposed of that age?
It was always they're too young to get out there and hit. They're not going to be able to comprehend, actual plays, blocking schemes. Flag football at that age is usually hand the ball off to the fastest kid, and it's a track meet up and down the field, right? So it was, are they going to be able to pick up on it and actually look like a football team? Like, how do you communicate that to a 5 and 6 year old? And then, of course, you know, in my head, you're still like, okay, they're 5 and 6 year olds out there banging around. But when you watch them play, none of those guys are really generating enough.
They don't move fast enough to actually create injury almost.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's actually, I've seen more injuries in flag football than I did in tackle, because they'd be running into each other, or kids still get tackled with no pads on or anything like that. So.
Yeah. It's the able to mentally run free, knowing you're not going to get hit, and then the collision happens type thing in flag football.
Yeah, right.
It's where, you know, when you know someone's trying to take your head off, whether you're 5 or 13, you better embrace the contact there and be prepared for it.
Yeah.
So, was there an overwhelming support? Like, how many teams did you get going, or how many kids signed up for that whenever you did the 5 and 6? Consider it was the first year.
We had 16 kids last year sign up for 5 and 6 for the first year, which was pretty good. I mean, that's enough for 5 and 6 to have a team. I was worried about the coaches. We had some really good coaches that were patient and took their time with them.
Yeah, it's really tough to coach.
Yeah, man, that's probably honestly the toughest team out there to coach. The 5 and 6 year olds to pay attention for a practice and learn. And the first 2 to 3 weeks, they were pretty rough. But after that, man, they look like a football team. They just look like miniature football players out there.
You ever coach any kids that young?
Yeah, my first year.
Looks like you enjoyed that experience based off of that answer.
I had too many coaches. I had more. What is it? We had more Chiefs than Indians.
Yeah. We can still say that.
I had to whittle them down. Can I still say that?
Yeah. I'm I'm Native American.
Oh, yeah.
Go for it.
You know what?
Shut up.
We can say that.
Yeah, you can.
We're not in San Francisco right now, so we're good to go. Yeah, we had too many coaches when we started. All the dads wanted to be coach.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any good sport at age 5 and 6. I think soccer is probably the one that, because the ball's just there and it's just a bunch of turds running around. And so it maybe creates some type of field awareness and, a little bit of – that might be the only sport. Because basketball there, I mean, if you have two kids that are coordinated enough to dribble, then you're going to win.
Right.
And then football, like you said, it's trying to get some type of focus.
Yeah.
T-ball is a train wreck and a waste of time
Absolutely.
and money.
Soccer, which is probably the sport where the best athletes play. You agree?
Oh yeah. You gotta be in shape to do that.
Right?
No.
The best athletes
gotta have a motor.
Soccer, right? Versus basketball.
No. He's trolling.
I think you have some incredible athletes that play
No,
soccer.
definitely, without a doubt. But the best overall athlete is a basketball player.
I think it's soccer. Would
Speed,
you agree?
Stamina.
I don't think it's basketball. I don't know. I can get out there and run up. I got up there and run up down a whole.
You can dunk?
No, I can't dunk, but
okay,
I played
that's athleticism.
I played a whole basketball game with for most of a whole basketball game.
If you had to, okay, all right. Well, then from
but
that
I couldn't do
standpoint,
soccer.
You couldn't. Okay, if I had to put you on a professional sports field, which one do you think you would last the longest before you got exposed as being just a middle-aged dad?
Oh, I'm a football guy, so it'd be football.
You think that you would be able to hang on a football field before getting exposed longer? That where they would be like, what the hell is that guy doing out
on
there?
an NBA court? I would be exposed in 30 seconds.
Okay, all right. So which one do you think you would last the longest on?
Yeah, football.
Football?
Yeah.
I think it'd be soccer.
No.
1,000% soccer. I watched something the other day that Lionel Messi he literally stood in place.
Okay.
The best soccer player that maybe ever lived stood in place, didn't walk, wasn't jogging, stood in place for 45 seconds and watched the ball on the other side of the field, and then they got to tell me he took 2 dribbles, took a shot.
It's like
and
baseball.
scored.
You can play it and take a nap. You can play or watch baseball
until you get up to bat and somebody's throwing 93.
Yeah, well, you're bat, but then when you're in the field, no, you got a point. I guess you could hide better at soccer. Yeah, sure. But I'm thinking about actually participating in the sport. No, I'd run them down that big old field with no brakes. That's rough.
Yeah. So, Ray, which one do you think?
What's that?
That you would last longest before being exposed?
Soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What position do you envision yourself playing in soccer?
A defender. Not even goalkeeper.
No, I wouldn't put you.
Just a defender.
We already talked about it. You weren't. I'm not talking about Ray right now, but peak Ray in
Ray defending
in Texas.
I'm body checking.
But you played tight end.
What's that?
But you played tight end. They didn't even let you tackle in college.
What are you talking about?
No, but you want to be a defender.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to be a scorer?
Well, see, I'm talking with my wisdom now.
Oh, okay.
At that time, probably want to take the ball and go.
Yeah.
But no. Defender, I'm body checking. Coming through, you're getting checked.
Gotcha.
I don't think you're allowed to do that, but.
No, you can.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, it's soccer. I don't know. I don't really want to talk soccer, but
my
kid plays soccer.
I played when I was little, but I don't remember the rules.
My girl played soccer. Too bad she has eczema. She played soccer one year. Yeah. The sun messed up her skin.
Oh.
And she was just all over these kids. She was going to be a star.
We'll just put her in long sleeves and stick her out there.
The sun messed her up.
The sun messed her up.
Yeah, and she was too high. We tried the long sleeves. She was too high.
She could have been it, man. Could have been paying for college.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my son went to a soccer camp this week, actually at St. Paul's. And normally whenever you have like these school camps that go on, it's just a money grab for the coaches, which is fine. I mean, they're trying to fund their program and, you know, you're doing something in the community, but it's usually not a lot of instruction. So it'll last like 3 to 4 hours. Like SLU had their baseball camp, you know, it's like a half day thing. St. Paul's soccer camp was 7 hours. Wow.
One day?
It was all week. It was 5 days. 6? Yeah. 6 hours, 5 days. My kid he had a part-time job this week. He played 30 hours of soccer at St. Paul's.
That's nuts.
Well, St. Paul's is that school, though.
Well, St. Paul's is super elite in like every sport.
Right.
But
6 hours a day for a kid camp. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was. I mean, obviously they broke it up and they would bring them inside. They'd watch the World Cup game for a little while and take breaks. But my son came home. He was just absolutely cooked every day whenever he got home. Pass out on the sofa. But it was just the fact that the kids that go to that high school were that involved with the camp. The coaches were that involved, and they took on there's like it sells out every year, their soccer camp too. It only takes so many campers, but just to see that kind of thing right there where, you know, like I said, a high school putting on a camp, things like that, coaches getting involved, hoping to get an eye on the next level of talent, and, you know, you keep tabs on it, but that's kind of what happens. It's the same thing too with, you know, the youth football. You start them early and you know they're coming your way, and the volleyball program in Springfield as well, where coaches get involved and you see these kids mature and get better, and I don't know, get you excited for the sports in general, even a sport like soccer that, you know, I enjoy watching him play it more than I enjoy any other sport. I'll say that. Like, he plays them all. Like, I get to coach him. I love coaching him in baseball the most. Love watching basketball, like, with him. And then the sport I like to watch him play the most is definitely soccer. So what about you? What sports your kids, did they start off playing everything?
Yeah, they started off. Yeah, they pretty much played. Well, my daughter played basketball. That's pretty much it. She didn't really like softball or t-ball. We tried that. My son played basketball and football and track until they got into high school, and then it's just football, track, and powerlifting. What he does now.
Which pretty much is like, that's kind of standard, right? If you're going to play football in high school, hey, we're going to go throw something in track, or if you're fast, you're going to go run.
Yeah, pretty much. And then my daughter plays high school basketball. So
too intense for the girls? Sometimes it is, right? Ray would get stressed out sometimes. I get a random text message during his daughter's senior year, and they can't hit a shot. They don't want to rebound. They're up and just whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I think the girls are more physical, though, when you watch them. I don't know if the refs just let them get away with a little more because they're girls, but, like, man, they get rough out there in high school.
See, I've heard that before, too, from one of the boys that plays on our baseball team talking to his dad. His dad coaches. And he coaches, he was coaching a team, and it was a little AAU team, and they had 2 girls on the team. And the 2 girls, they were like 12, right? So the girls hit puberty before the boys. And he said, I had to calm the girls down because the physicality that they played with compared to what the boys were. And he's like, if I can get like an ounce of that out of the boys, we're going to be dominant. But the girls were like, down low bangers. One of them was, the other one was a point guard. He was like, he's like, teams didn't know what to do because the girls were throwing elbows at them, and they were like, I can't hit a girl.
No, the girls are rough. At least from my experience watching, boys are more controlled in high school. You know, the basketball, and girls they're rough, man. They're fighting out there.
Yeah, but their fight is like more controlled. That's why I think the refs let them get away with it more, because they're bumping into each other, and it's like, should she be able to do that? Yeah, I think it's more of that than anything. And I think the refs are like, did that really happen? And it's too late to blow the whistle.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens to them a lot.
Well, you know, but in general, so like just in sports, right? Girls always mature faster than boys in life. So I guess in sports, you're going to end up with a little more mental maturity standpoint from the girls, or emotional maturity from the girls before you'll get it from the boys, which means that cheap elbow leads to a big shove and then a little ego match, to where the girls, if it's a little more controlled, they're like, I'll just wait till I get back down the court, and then grab her jersey, throw an elbow in the kidney whenever she goes up for the rebound, and we'll go about our business.
So. Oh yeah, they'll definitely get revenge.
So.
Let's go back, Cody. Let's go back to let's talk about your origin a little bit. Give us something that we don't know.
Where'd you grow up, and something we don't know?
Oof. Born and raised in Albany. Graduated Albany High School.
What?
Yeah. All right. You didn't know that, huh?
No.
But I married a girl from Springfield, so that's how I ended up in Springfield. Married a crosstown rival, right?
Okay.
And we were actually torn when we were getting married, starting a family, like where are we going to live? And at the time, Springfield had much better schools than Albany.
Were y'all torn, or you were trying to convince?
I wanted them to go to Albany. She wanted to go to Springfield.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
But her, to her credit, at the time, Springfield had, and they usually go back and forth, but Springfield had better schools at the time. Like Albany had kind of fallen off, so decided to go in Springfield. So mom lives in Albany, dad lives in Springfield. So it's
so that is the high school. That is the high school rivalry.
Oh, that's the big. So and Coach Ray
about the I-12.
Oh, you're going to see it this year, the Battle of I-12. That's when they play each other every year. Because what happened is back in the day, which I don't know how long ago, they used to be the same school. So they were combined, right? Okay. When they first got it, that was the combined school, and then they kept growing. The communities kept growing, so they split them. Yeah, the original school burnt down, but they split them. Like they were big enough at that time when they had school issues, they split them, and it became Albany and Springfield. But they used to be together, so it just developed into a rivalry. Yeah,
that's fun. Yeah, actually, so my wife and I grew up in Houma. She grew up in Thibodaux. We went to rival high schools, and yeah, we ended up married and living in Ponchatoula because that makes sense. But, so not the direction that we thought we were going to end up, but nonetheless, did marry my high school.
Mom Albany,
dad Springfield.
Yep. You got a brother. I know you got a brother.
Got a brother. He lives in Albany. He's the assistant chief of police in Albany now. So yeah, he's an Albany guy.
And that's it.
That's it.
The extended family.
Yeah, that's it. I got some stepsisters, but I only got one biological brother. That's it. One sibling.
And you all met in high school or after high school?
We met our senior year.
Senior year?
Yeah, senior year.
You've been together since?
Been together since. I graduated, and as soon as I graduated, I packed up and went to North Carolina. Lived there for 2 years while I was in school. And then I was in Houston for about 8 months and then moved back.
Gotcha. What took you to North Carolina?
School. So I had this brilliant idea. I should have been a doctor or a lawyer because I always had great grades, smart kid. That I wanted to get into NASCAR because I was in the big race and I actually quit football in high school, started drag racing.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at that.
So moved all the way to NASCAR Technical Institute in Mooresville, North Carolina, which is NASCAR headquarters. Put myself through tech school. Worked a full-time job and went to tech school and volunteered and dabbled in some race shops when I was up there. And figured out that the behind-the-scenes NASCAR isn't all that glorified. It was fun, and I could have get into it, but I basically had a guy, for the shop I was volunteering at and getting my foot in the door said, if you want a family, don't get in NASCAR.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, it's a professional sport with a lot of moving pieces. It's kind of like, it's coaching, whenever guys get into higher levels of coaching, the things that you're going to miss in life, it's just going to be a factor.
Yeah.
Right? It's just going to be what it is.
It'd have been, getting your foot in the door, it'd have been 60 to 70 hour weeks, not a whole lot of money, and traveling all the time. During the season, you're traveling with the team everywhere. And obviously you can work your way up like, anybody, but what it would have been like.
It's going to be who can stick out the grind to get to the next level type thing.
So I had a decision to make. It's like, do I stay on the road, stay up here and just, keep family back home? That's where all my family is. Or do I move back home? When I went to graduate, I was actually number one in my class up there. And so Mercedes at the time had a factory training program because they needed tech. So it was called the Elite Program that they actually plucked certain kids out of school. We had to go through a pretty rigorous process to get accepted. And then they would send you to their training for free.
Gotcha.
So I had that opportunity, which is why I went to Houston for 8 months. So I took that with Mercedes, went through their factory training for 8 months, and then moved back home. Got a job at Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and I've been there for as long as I've been married, 21 years. So
really,
wow,
yeah. Same.
So you
place.
said that you had a dream to be involved with racing, or where did that come from? Is that a family background thing? Did you grow up around it, or
yeah? So it's funny. So from when I was growing up as a kid, my dad and my grandpa owned a big diesel repair shop in Baton Rouge, Airline Diesel, which is now a Volvo dealership, and they sold out. So my dad had he was always dealing with race cars and race trucks. So I grew up around that part of my dad, right? So it's kind of in your blood. I hope my son. I don't even want my son to know how to change oil. I hope he doesn't. Hope he never learns. So I guess you could say it's in your blood. And then as I got older, once I got out of high school, my dad transitioned. He always was part-time in law enforcement, but he went full-time into law enforcement, which is what my younger brother followed in his footsteps. So now he's a police officer. So it's kind of, I got the younger part of my dad. I followed his footsteps, and then my brother kind of followed.
I think I like your route better. I couldn't be a cop. It's so thankless.
Oh yeah.
It's so thankless and so stressful for family too.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's where I got my mechanical.
Are you still a fan of racing?
After you work on cars for 21 years,
I can see that.
They just become cars. Everybody tells you, get a job with what you love. No. I disagree with that statement. Get a job that pays the bills and do what you love as a hobby, because if you do what you love as a job, eventually it just becomes a job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so jaded on it. I still watch it every now and then, but we get a new.
It's not appointment television by any means.
Yeah, it's not. And even supercars now, like we get one of these $500,000 cars come rolling through the shop, and everybody's, oh, look at it. I'm like, it's just more crap to break that I got to fix, right? It's just cars to me now. I've been doing it so long.
Well, have you got to go to Germany? Did it send you out there at all?
I turned down a chance to Germany.
What? Have you been there before and you turned it down? So you just didn't want to go?
No, I hate flying, and I don't think.
Who cares, man?
I saw 16 hours on a plane.
Yeah, she's got to convince you. It's not 6. It's 7-hour flight.
No, it's more than that.
No.
It's more than that.
No.
To Germany?
Yes.
He's been over.
Yeah. You're going to fly from here to New Jersey or Atlanta, and then from there you're going to have a 7-hour flight, 8-hour flight to Frankfurt-ish or Munich or wherever you want to.
Well, the flight they had me on, we didn't go straight to Germany either. So it would have been...
It's Mercedes, and they're going to just go cheap on the flight and have you connect in Turkey or something?
You'd be surprised when Mercedes goes cheap on.
Yeah, I guess.
It wasn't a straight through flight. I think it was, I don't know, it was somewhere in Jersey, New York. Somewhere
that's just for the international purposes.
And then and then we had a layover somewhere in Europe that we would have been, not Germany, obviously, like
flew into like Paris or
somewhere. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. And then we had a layover there and then hop over. So
man, you got to take
Stuttgart.
If they give you that opportunity there to go, you got to go. You got to go. Germany was awesome. Germany was awesome. I did Germany when I had no business doing Germany. I was like 25 and we went to Oktoberfest.
Oh, yeah, well, if you're going to do Germany, that's the time
to
do it.
So that was it. So then I came back, and that's when my wife and I started dating. It was probably better. We did the Oktoberfest before.
Yeah, I don't think they do the Germany trips anymore. They used to do it when you got master certified. You can get recommended for the Master Guild.
You're coming up on 25 years. Just put it away. Man, it'd be sure nice if I could go to Germany for being there 25.
That's what I said. I don't think Mercedes doesn't do it anymore, right?
Gotcha.
So I had the opportunity.
Well, there's so much production that goes on here too for the vehicles, right?
Right. So their main production plant now is in Alabama. All your SUVs are made in Alabama.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's
scary.
Yeah. We see a lot of the brand new cars come off the lot. You can tell they were done on a Friday, by Alabama. Somebody in Alabama, because they got all kinds of stuff unplugged. They forgot to plug in or whatever.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. We call them Friday cars, getting off of work.
Any way to know you got a Friday car if I go visit a lot? Just got to wait and see.
No, hopefully they got it fixed before they put it out on the lot.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you turn it on, nothing comes on the dashboard. You're like, cool, this one was in Alabama.
Yeah, is everything union?
No, Mercedes is not unionized.
Working for Mercedes, the only job you've had as an adult.
Yeah, that's it. I've been there 21 years, yeah.
So that's interesting. You know what, though? You say it just becomes a job, but at the same time, there's got to be a level of there's nothing you haven't seen, ease to go, meaning that the stress levels.
Oh, no. It's a super high stressful job. Just working on cars isn't, right? It can be time or time, but, I've been the foreman for 12, 13 years now.
So they expect you to have an answer every time they have a question.
Right. So the buck stops at me. So there's a problem car, like it's in my stall, right? I got to figure out. You got an angry customer because they just bought a $250,000 car. It's in the shop, right? They want it back. They want answers.
Just slightly entitled.
Yeah, you can say that. So I'm working with Mercedes engineers. The cars are so convoluted now and so complex. Like Mercedes doesn't even know how to fix them half the time. So you got angry customers, on top of I got to manage, 20-something people directly, another 15 indirectly. Still got to make out, you still got to hit your production every month, And
then you get to go coach football. Which makes it all worth it.
That's my stress reliever. Yeah. That's the fun part. Coaching football's fun.
Cody's a football guy, loves sports, racing background, grew up locally here. kids are all involved. All right. So whenever you have, right, you're a dad. And there's so much of our lives once we become dads that just become revolved around making sure our family is where they need to be and making sure our kids have every opportunity we can provide for them. So Ray and I had a conversation a few months back where we talked about like a dad life crisis, right? And basically what that meant was the stages of things that happen throughout our time as a dad, where when you first get with your spouse, it's all about you two, and then you get married and that grows and loves, and then you have kids that come and it shifts because wife's priority goes towards the kids. And then, so you're trying to navigate things because there's so many different stages of fatherhood. And then you get to a point where it's just like, you realize that you have enough balance, right? So I'm saying all that to say this is when you have Cody time, what is it selfishly in a good way that you like to do? How do you disconnect from the stresses or whatever? Some guys fish, like what is it if you have, everybody's going out of town. I get to do what I want to do this weekend. Where are we going to?
I'm going to Mississippi to sit in a tree stand by myself, read a book.
And then hope you see something walk by?
Let's see. I let 6 deer walk by last year because I didn't want to shoot one. I was just chilling out in my tree stand.
Oh, God.
So you hunt, but you don't hunt?
No, I hunt. I do. I don't know. Last year, I just enjoyed being out there by myself, and I was like, if I shoot it, I got to clean it. We got a couple big bucks that.
So basically, if the freezer's stocked, I'm being very picky on what walks in front of me.
Is
it one of those
I didn't
things?
kill one last year. Didn't kill a deer last year. Didn't have no freezer meat. Didn't kill a deer.
Really?
Yeah, we had a couple big bucks we were chasing, but I let a lot of deer walk. I don't know. I was just like,
That's your A1 hobby right there?
That's how I disconnect. Super peaceful. I got a piece of property that me and my mom purchased from family once my grandparents passed away. Just that whole area for me. That's where I spent my summers and a lot of holidays and winters up there in that area with my grandparents. So it's kind of nostalgia for me and peaceful. That's all.
So that works though. No, that's it's good when people find out, because a lot of people down here, right? Hunting is a huge part of life and culture, and that goes on. But there is that part where what you said is not what you always hear from people whenever they do it. And the being out there means more than the actual hunt.
Absolutely. For me, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's provides a lot of insight to being able to have self-reflection, because if you can be out there with a purpose and avoid that purpose for what you're doing, then that only means that you can, like you said, in a book or some self-reflection, or actually, just kind of soak in what life has and just kind of pump the brakes on as busy as it may get. Like you said, you work in a high-stress job, and then whenever you get here, then it doesn't stop from there. I mean, everyone depends on you, and then, okay, I'm going to coach football. Oh, by the way, you're in charge of it. And so people will look for answers there. So I guess when you have a chance to, no one can ask a question when no answers are needed.
No cell service, sitting in a tree stand all by myself. Sometimes if it's, early season or it's still warm, we got a little creek that runs by the property that I'll go, go chill out in and hike in. No cell service. Just
I have to say, I'm jealous. That sounds like a great thing. Not gonna lie.
Hey, so many dads unintentionally become great fathers, but poor husbands. How do you protect your marriage while raising these kids?
Oof, that's tough. I don't know. She does most of the work. She does most of the work keeping that together. Like to say I'm a good husband. I know I'm not always the greatest, but we still have fun with each other.
Yeah, but being able to stay connected with your spouse through from being high school sweethearts to, you moving away and then coming back and taking a job in a high stress situation, having kids, and still being able to connect and not have, and be able to fight through no type of resentment because the career and then all of a sudden the kids, and every couple has their struggles,
sure.
But it's who can stay the course and not get completely, frustrated by it, because that's just life.
That's life. And we do pretty much everything together. I mean, she runs Springfield Youth Football as much as I do. She's involved in it, and the other stuff we do with the organization. So, I mean, we pretty much do everything together anyways.
That's nice. That's nice whenever you can have, I guess, a hobby that you both enjoy doing, and then it gives back. So it just sounds, kind of like good people for this.
Yeah, she, you won't find somebody that cares more about those kids in our community than she does. Like, she's a big part of those kids' lives. So
yeah, I can second that. How about habits? Like what kind of habits have kept your marriage strong during stressful seasons?
We let kids are at the age now, we kind of let them do their own thing. They got their own life. They're never home anymore, which is bittersweet, but I know that's going to let them get some independence.
All right, so they're in high school now.
Right.
But what about before they got to high school?
Even then, I think we always prioritized us.
What's that called? What's that called when you let the kids just go?
But even when they were younger, I think we always made time for us, prioritized time for us. Had a good preacher, tell us that, hey, look, your spouse is probably forever. Your kids are moving out one day. So you got to make sure you prioritize enough time for y'all, even if it means, neglecting the kids a little bit at times where maybe you send them to a grandparent's house or let them go stay at a friend's house more often, so you can have that spouse time.
Yeah, no, it's true. My wife made a comment the other night, and it was jokingly, but it had me thinking. I'm like, you know what? That's a very valid point, even though she was giving me a hard time. And she said, I'm the only one that chooses to love you. Everybody else that you're close to has to love you. I'm like, what are you talking about? She was like, Luke has to love you. He's your dad. I mean, you're his dad. Your brothers and your sisters have to love you because, they're your siblings. She was like, you asked me to marry you. I said yes. So I choose to love you.
That's eros love. That's what the Greeks would call it. Eros love.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah. So fair enough, So the kids, right? We kind of let them discover on their own and go. And that's great because it's so hard to not be a helicopter parent nowadays, especially as you get to teenagers and the social media starts to happen and you just want to protect them from either being hurt or making a stupid mistake to hurt someone else. I think that's my biggest fear. My kid's 10, and as he gets older, I'm just like, I know it's going to happen. I'm like, I just hope his mess up is one that he's just close enough to the other kids that really screw up type thing, And so obviously no one starts out to be a helicopter parent. It doesn't seem as though, that you and your wife have that type of relationship with your kids. Has there been moments where you kind of wanted to rein them in and then let them go or experience failure or I don't know. I guess the biggest failure you had to see your kids face. We'll start there. Do you recall possibly the biggest failure that they've had up to this point?
Not really. I mean,
it could be something minimal. It could be I didn't make the team when I was a freshman and just seeing the heartbreak,
No, they've been pretty fortunate in that. I don't think they've really had any major failures yet. I know it's coming at some point.
I think that would scare me. Like I keep trying to find moments where he has some type of failure, and it may sound wrong, but I try to make it a bigger deal. Like even though it's really not, like I try to make it a bigger deal to where he's got to think about it to like not let him lose drive. He's a really self-driven little kid, which I'm proud of, but like just trying to like find those little moments of failure, knowing that they'll start to callous the brain and the feelings and, you'll be able to move on and you won't break because something doesn't go your way.
Yeah, no, I don't think we've had any for them major failures yet. And again, I know it's coming at some point. I mean, that's life. Like you're going to fail, No, I don't.
So what's been the biggest success? How about that they've experienced, whether it be academically or
my son, look, he's very, very smart academically. He's in Harvard right now. He got an invite to go to the Harvard camp. To tour the school and do that. If it's going to work out, I don't know. That's D1 football, and he's good. I don't know if he's that good, but he's got the grades for it, got the ACT score for it.
It's kind of the big determining factors at a place like that.
Yeah,
that's A1 before talent almost.
That's
what
facts.
Position does he play?
He's a running back.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
He's very good.
I would
stat wise, he's very good. When he played against us, I didn't like him
because he was good.
Yeah.
Fair.
No, he's very good. So,
how did Harvard even become on his radar?
I don't know how Harvard contacted him. They sent him an email on, we created an email just for his, recruiting stuff. He's got a lot of invites from camps all over, but I don't know how Harvard got his information.
Are they like leader in the clubhouse for him right now? Like,
that would be his number one pick. Yeah, I think so. The second school that I think he liked the most that we went and did was Harding, which is a D2 school in Arkansas. He really liked that. I think he really enjoyed that campus and that school and that coach.
So y'all toured campuses?
Mm-hmm.
You went to Harvard?
No, I didn't go to Harvard. He's there right now. My mom took him to save me some days off. No, I'll get on planes.
Okay.
No,
all right.
I don't like to.
All right, just make it sure.
No, it's more of a day off thing.
Okay.
They're making a little trip out of it. He's going up to Salem. And then I got a couple more in Arkansas with him, and then she's taking him to He'll be in Minneapolis at the end of next month. But I've been doing all the other ones with him.
That's a miserable place.
Yeah.
It's so cold, like all the time.
I like the cold weather. He does too.
But that's a different kind of in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I plan on retiring in Montana, so I'm all about the cold.
Really?
Yeah.
I got no use for it.
I love it.
Yeah. Does she want to retire in Montana?
Yeah,
she got to pick Springfield, so she doesn't get a choice.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, I think she'd be happy with it.
So, I think I'd like to visit Montana. I think Montana is a place I'd like to visit, and if I'm there long enough, I'm like, man, this would be awesome. And then if I was there at the wrong time, I'd be like, this is ridiculous.
This is what I thought.
Yeah. West side of Montana, one of the most beautiful places on earth. Very little people. Most of them concentrated in the cities. But once you get out of that, it's very, very few people. Very little crime. Slower life.
It's a lot of wildlife, though.
Love wildlife.
Too many bears. Too many bears.
When's the last time you encountered a bear?
I have not. I doom scroll.
So you just watch people get attacked by bears, right?
Yeah, I'm like, that is amazing. Why are you walking up to that bear?
Yeah, that was just people think, most people come to Montana to vacation and they're like, oh, animals are tamed like a zoo. They don't understand. No, these are wild animals. Like
somebody was telling me a story, or I was listening to. They weren't telling me a story. I don't know. I don't know if I heard the story or if I was listening to a podcast, but they were out in a national park area and there was buffalo, and they knew there were buffalo out there. And he's like, hey, you gotta let me. And the guy he was with was like working on something, right? They were fly fishing, I think is what it was. And the guy was trying to get the right fly fishing thing. And he's like, there's buffalo over there. You got to let me know if they get close. And so the guy's watching. And then the guy looks up and he's like, dude, we got to go. And he's like, what? He's like, those buffalo are like 300 yards away. He's like, yeah, man, that's like not that. He's like, they'll be here in 30 seconds. We got to go. And I was like, okay. Yeah. Like and like you said, the tourists who go out to national parks and think that like, the gorilla's behind the glass. Well, the buffalo's not behind the glass, bro.
Yeah, the people, I see it all. I used to spend a lot of time up there, vacation and for work. And you just watch people and elk, moose, bear, whatever, buffalo, they don't care. Like they get close to it and you're like, man, those are big, giant animals that could just destroy you in 10 seconds. You're like
you're in their house.
Yeah. Like look at them from a distance. Like, hey, they're gorgeous.
So very true. So very true.
Keep distance.
My closest encounter to a bear was whenever we were in South Tahoe, and it was like this time of year in July, and they had a bear the size of a Volkswagen just walk down the street. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on there. And then we went fly fishing, and there was a bear walking to the other side of the creek, and the guy just like, oh, we're good. We're like, these California bears, they don't care. I'm like, what do you mean they don't? They're massive. He's like, he's gonna walk by our truck because we were a ways away. He's gonna walk by our truck. He's gonna look in the tailgate and then he's gonna keep going.
Looking for food.
Pretty much what he did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They just mind their own business. They're like, you get scared. Like those California bears are. I guess I don't know. Maybe they steal the weed plants or something.
Yeah, maybe so. Keeps them chill.
Yeah, not a grizzly.
Are you prepared to give some kind of speech when they do fail? Your kids.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to use a speech you've heard before, or something or something from life?
It'll probably be a speech I used after my team got our butt kicked in a football game one time or something. It'll probably be along those lines.
Get your head out your ass type thing?
Yeah, no. You gotta tell them facts. Let them know you love them. Everybody fails. Tell them how to rebound, keep fighting. That's the points of it. It's no. We've all had a failure speech in our life, I think.
That's good. No, that's good.
Yeah, I don't think you got to reinvent the wheel, right?
No, but you also have to find something that clicks with the personality of the child, and I think that's where a lot of times parents kind of fall off. Where you can't parent both kids the same way.
No, that's true.
And so one that experiences, luckily I just got to get it right with one, but you obviously are going to have kids that are going to.
Yeah, they're
definitely
different personalities and opposite. Yeah.
So with I do have a question because this is one that I always tend to ask. With sports, right, and your kid playing at a high level, what is the ride like home from the game after a win? What is the ride like home after a game after a loss? What is the ride like home after practice?
Well, he's driving himself now, so I don't really have those rides. But obviously we talk after him. He's like me when it's competitive. He hates losing more than he likes winning. So obviously he's not a poor loser. I taught him better than that. Neither am I. but we're gonna sit there and we're gonna analyze why we lost, right? We're gonna have second thoughts. We're gonna say this is what I should have done different, and we're gonna learn from it.
Are these conversations that he leads in, like he's like, I got to find Dad to talk about, or you initiate, or what is that dynamic?
It's either way. You know, he had a couple tough losses this last year. They lost their starting quarterback, and I mean they had 3 games against high-ranked teams that they lost by a point, lost in the overtime, and lost on a field goal. You know, and
sometimes you'd rather get blown up by 50.
Yeah, you know, it was back and forth, close games, and the defense was struggling. They, you know, like I said, we had a backup quarterback freshman in, so those tough games he initiated them. Normal losses or games I'll initiate him, so it goes back and forth. But you know, I always told him, and I kind of hopefully he learns, you know, gets this mentality is that we never lose. We either learn something or we win. Right? It's never a loss. When you don't win the game, you learn something from it and you get better from it. You know, I hope that's the mentality he takes. I think that's what he's got.
I like that.
You know, he's a good kid. You never lose. You either learn something or you win, right? That's the 2 options. So, you know, that's how his brain works too. Me and him's pretty similar in that aspect.
Sounds like he's definitely got some emotional maturity too.
Yeah, he does. He's really is. He's the best thing I ever made. He's a great kid.
Yeah, he don't talk much.
Really?
He's kind of quiet like me. You know, I'm not a big talker unless I have to. You know, I will. I'm not scared of it. I have to daily job and give meetings and, you know, coaching and stuff. But
you're not the class clown.
Nah, I'm not the class clown. I'm not the guy that's always going to be cutting up or the loudest guy in the room. That's not me. Yeah. Daughter, on the other hand, completely opposite.
So it takes after mom. Why.
Exactly. She's just like her mom.
Okay.
You know, very, very. Not in a negative way, but very loud, outgoing.
Definitely can't be in a negative way when you just start using all those adjectives.
Right. I mean, it's not. It's like, you know, but she's very loud, outgoing, social. You know,
like setting picks.
Oh yeah. She loves setting picks. Yeah. She's actually built like a football player.
She'd love to hear that.
Yeah. No, I mean, no. She's tall and she's strong. Yeah, but she's more emotional and like, you know, she's the harder one to have the conversation with after they lose a game or whatever. Or she has a bad game. She's the harder one to connect with and talk because our personalities are so different. You know, she doesn't like the dad pep talk all the time, right? She doesn't want to hear it. She wants to be mad about it and just going about her business and we'll talk about it later, you know. So yeah, they're completely different personality types.
That's a tough one because. So, you know, mine, he's very analytical, right? And he's very analytical just from the standpoint, like, he had no choice based off of the way I am. And my wife's just, you know, she's the CFO. And like, that's going to happen. He's just too analytical. But then he's also emotional as well sometimes. And I'm like, I didn't know what to do. So I asked those questions about how to, like, what's practice wins and losses like on the ride home and because I'm trying to navigate that myself. And anytime I have a chance, especially with someone who has a son who's on the trajectory to play past high school, which is such a unique thing nowadays, it's just like, well, how do we get that? And one of the pieces of advice that I've heard and developed was whenever, you know, if he's emotional, then you let him hang on to that loss as long as he needs to. And so like, I've just incorporated that and he hears it every time where I'm like, I will never tell you to get over a loss. I was like, you hang on to it as long as you want. The second you're ready to talk about it, let me know. But if you want to be mad, I was like, you're not going to yell or be mad at mom. You're not going to yell or be mad at me. But you can live in your own head as long as you want with that loss, as long as you need to. And then sometimes it's like he would wake up in the morning the next day and he's like, I still can't believe it. And I'm like, he's hanging on to it. And there's other times, 10 minutes after we walked off the field, he's like, we're going to eat Mexican? I'm like, so, you know, and I'm like, well, that's great because it's not one way or the other. It does change from time to time. But I just think like, you know, when you deal with those, you know, an emotional kid, it's, hey man, hang on to it as long as you can. And I think telling a kid to get over a loss is just such a setback.
Right.
But it's such a parent thing to say just because you want them to be happy. So get over it means like, oh, just be happy where, you know, life is going. But it's part of a failure.
Doesn't give them instruction either. It tells them what to do, but doesn't tell them how to do it.
That's perfect way to say it.
Yeah, it's like, get over it. Well, okay, how, Dad? Like, how do I get over it, you know?
So with the with your daughter and the opposite personalities, right? So are there sibling rivalries, or as they get older, she starts to be more supportive of Big Bro, or
They
are excited for him that, a chance to go to Harvard, or do they just kind of coexist?
No, they don't. No, they don't really have a sibling rivalry as far as sports goes. Obviously they'll jab each other every now and then, but no, she will never admit it, but she secretly loves her brother and proud of him, and you can tell sometimes she brags with her friends. The problem we have with the rivalry is they're 14 months apart, right?
Oh, so you have Irish twins there almost.
Right. So she's going to be a junior this coming year, and he's going to be a senior. The rivalry is when one of them starts flirting or talking with the other one's friend, right? Then all heck breaks loose in the house because neither one of them wants them talking to their friends.
That's fair.
That's the big fights and issues we have.
They got pretty good coaches over there at Springfield too.
Yeah. Billy, the basketball coach, he's good. Billy Dreyer, he's a good coach. Big, very knowledgeable, X and O's coach kind of guy. Yep. He's helped that program a lot.
That's good.
So with the schools, obviously like certain credits have to be there to transfer, from an academic standpoint that the schools look at. And then there's also that governing body that everybody loves too, the LHSAA. And so like, what would happen there, or a kid, or you see whenever I said LHSAA. So what's your biggest gripe about LHSAA?
Oh man, there's a bunch of them.
Give me your top.
I think the whole thing needs to be blown up. The more and more I learn and see, and now that I'm actually involved in high school sports to an extent, and have kids that I've either my kids or kids that I've coached and people that I know now, some of the stuff just baffles me what they do. I think a lot of their rules are outdated and antiquated.
I think yes.
I think and I'll give you a prime example from a football standpoint. They have, they don't have a targeting rule in high school. There's no targeting. There's no helmet to helmet. There's no reporting system for kids that do this over and over again. None of that.
But yet it would be illegal for the kid to wear like the foam halo thing because it's not part of a certain uniform or that was a whole thing that happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah. There's so many quirks and stuff. But I mean, like you look at some of these hits. Now they'll get an unsportsmanlike for 15 yards. But I watched a kid do it 3 times in a game. Got 3 unsportsmanlike penalties. Like obviously launching with his head. He should have been gone.
Yeah.
College, you're gone.
I think college finally revamped their ridiculous rule because like the being suspended for the next game first half, that was the most ridiculous rule. Just you're done for the game, just call it a day.
Yeah.
I think they revamped that one, thank God. But yeah, I mean that rule's been in place for quite a while now. And the fact that it can get 3 of the same way, it's
and
you emulate everything that's done at the next level.
Exactly.
But yet this is the one that you choose to not do.
Which is a huge deal at this day and age, right? And I'm using that as one example. So the same kid, I was actually talking to an official out of Baton Rouge just by happenstance one day, and somehow I know we were talking about it. And he's like, oh, yeah. He called the number out of the kid in the team. He's like, yeah, I had the same problem with him in my game.
Wow.
And it's like, okay, there's not a – and look, I sent a –
What? I mean, couldn't the ref just eject him? Like, I don't know what grounds are for ejection, but at the same
ref
time,
discretion. He could eject him, but there's no rule set in place. Hey, if you get more than one targeting call, you're out of here, right? Or like a reporting system. If a kid's doing this intentionally, which obviously he is, like this is, and the coaches aren't correct. There needs to be some kind of reporting system. That's just one thing I have with it. I don't know. There's, so the rules: head football coach, head basketball coach. Has to be a teacher or an administrator at the school, right? Only 2 sports. Any other sport, you can have any guy off the street come and be your head coach for a sports team.
But only for football.
Cody.
Football, basketball, got to be an administrator or teacher at the school. Which
Okay.
I'm for.
There's the key.
I don't have a problem if it's across the board.
Yeah, that's why 2 sports. It doesn't.
Well, there's the key, though. You said administrator. Because I know there's some coaches that don't teach.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, but
that's fine. But they're on campus every day.
Yeah, they got to be on campus administrator, right? Yeah. But that's the only 2 sports for it. So I don't know. It's just a bunch of weird stuff they do. The transfer thing, I think they need to reevaluate that. I don't know. And when I say transfer, so I look at it, and this goes down to the school board level too. This ain't really an LHSA thing, but in Livingston Parish, a kid can transfer a school for an academic reason. So let's say I got a kid that goes to Marpaul and he wants to take a class that Springfield offers, but Marpaul doesn't. He can move to Springfield to take that class. Okay? But a kid that goes to Marpaul, a lot of kids doesn't have a football team. Right? Frost doesn't have a football team. French Settlement doesn't have a football team. Holden doesn't have a football team. Livingston doesn't have a football team. They're trying to get back one up and running. If that kid wants to play football in high school, he can't do it. They won't let him. They won't let him transfer to a school to play a sport that his school doesn't offer. So because of where that kid lives, he doesn't have a chance to play football. It's bizarre to me, and it's like,
and that's crazy because you're also talking about a public school that you don't have a choice on which school you get to go to because it's all based off of districts, and it's not like people have the means to just move.
Right. It's a money thing, though. So you know what I was told? Because I went to the school board and talked to him about it. It's a money thing. So if that kid from Marpaw goes to Springfield, his parents pay taxes in Marpaw to go to the Marpaw school district. But Springfield doesn't receive any tax money to offset that kid.
So there goes his opportunity.
But they'll let him do it for academic purposes.
Yeah.
You know, so that's
what I heard happen to a kid that went to a meet. They had a class that the school over here that he came from doesn't have. And he will play football here as well.
Yeah, well, so, and as I was about to say, so it happens anyway because people know the way around it, right?
Yeah.
You just have to go to a school that doesn't have a class you offer and it's all good. And it's like, it shouldn't be that way. Like if a kid wants to play a sport, let him send a letter to the school board and say, hey, look, my kid's played football since he was 5. He wants to continue. Can we transfer to and you shouldn't be able to go to any school you want to, the next closest school that we live to that offers that program.
Yeah. Should
be the way it is. Because what happens is people can't move. They end up going to a private school. If they really want to play that bad, they end up going to a private school.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have public schools. They're always complaining, oh, we're losing kids to private schools. Well, that's because they can go to a private school wherever they want to and way more activities, right? Most private schools have way more sports, way more clubs, way more activities.
Yeah, that's just a sad thing that it's manipulated that much with zero interest in the kid themselves.
Yeah,
like could have, the next Tom Brady living in Maripaw, but we'll never know because
you never know.
There's no option.
Never know.
So that's that's terrible. Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that's the reason why, simply because of tax dollars that they misuse anyways. So
right. Yeah.
Then there's that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Look, so we had you fill out this questionnaire.
Yeah.
And I saw something on there that was pretty cool. So based on, youth sports, being dads, trying to teach our kids to become better human beings, we also are faith-based. So this question's around that. Has your faith changed the way you parent? If so, how?
Absolutely. It has to, right? I think your moral compass is usually directly tied into your faith for the most part. I think your values that you teach and instill your kids are obviously come from your worldview, your belief system.
Well, you say obviously, but it's not always obviously.
Well, I think it's pretty obviously. I think it may be done at a subconscious level, but I think a parent's worldview, even if we don't know that we're portraying that worldview onto our kids, I think our worldview and how we view the world and how we carry ourselves or what we do, I think affects our kids, right? Because, our kids are learning from us even when we're not talking to them. Like they see what we do and how we carry ourselves. So yeah, I think everybody's worldview affects your daily life, which affects.
I don't think you have to preface that by saying think. That's an actual fact.
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely, your faith, or your worldview, or whatever you want to call it, shapes how you parent. Yeah.
My son goes to St. Joseph's right now here in Ponchatoula, and he's going to go to Archbishop Hannon or he's going to go to St. Paul's, and he doesn't have a choice from that standpoint, based on the simple fact that we want him to have a daily life of school that involves God.
Right.
So that is why. It has nothing to do with an academic standpoint or anything like that, or we don't feel safe at the public school like some people. Like, no. We strictly want him to have God daily in his life, and that's why he's going to go to one of those two schools. Is there anything that you could see in difference where, obviously the kids are different personalities, but him being at Hannon where faith is reinforced there and the daughter not, does it translate? Do you even notice a difference? Or
no, not really.
Something? No,
not really. But we're also a small community, so even in a public school in a small community,
it's almost the same. It's a private school feel, right. Almost.
Now the curriculum's a little different at Archbishop Hannon, which I like. As far as they're more open to teaching, comparative religions or obviously Christianity, Catholic, they're Catholic church. So, that's a lot more instilled into the curriculum from that worldview standpoint, which you're not going to have in a public school.
Obviously, yeah.
So that's the big difference. But, now if you were coming from maybe a big city school, from a Baton Rouge or New Orleans, I think it would probably make a huge difference from a public school to a private school.
Yeah.
But not in our small community. I mean, everybody's pretty faith-based over there. So.
Yeah. No, that is true. I mean, I just remember that as a small child, that kids that went to public school, I mean, we saw them every weekend in church. It didn't really matter. I mean, everybody was there. Even though I went to Catholic school, it didn't matter. Everybody was there. So if I'd have gone to public school, it would have been like, oh yeah, all my friends that are there or the same people I see.
Yeah.
Kind of touch a little bit on something that you like to do, but Ray enlightened me to something that is probably a very trying time as well for you. And you recently went through some medical issues.
Yeah. Yes. It's been trying. All right. I had a surprise heart attack 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks to the date. Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
I would always hope that a heart attack would be surprised.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, so I say it was a surprise. So my dad and grandpa had a history of heart disease, but they also, my dad smoked up until he had his heart attack.
Okay, so that would not be a surprise.
Right. And like my grandpa was diabetic. I think he smoked when he was younger. Right. So they never took the best care of themselves. So I knew I had that in my history, right? But hey, I'm gonna beat the genetic gene pool, right? I'm gonna beat it. So never smoked a cigarette in my life. Never did any kind of drugs. I eat pretty healthy with it. I say probably from 25 to 30, I eat worth of crap. I got kind of big. I quit doing martial arts. So that part of my life, I didn't really take care of myself. But
we could talk all day, you and I, on that one.
Yeah, but but after that, when I hit like 30, 31, I was like, okay, I got to do something myself. I eat really good. Stayed in the gym 4 to 5 times. Last few years, probably more going through the motions, not really heavy into it. But 4 or 5 years, I was really serious into it. Counting macros, eating the whole 9 yards. I got put on testosterone when I was 31, so I get blood work twice a year, like a full workup panel.
Right.
And cholesterol's always good. Never had high blood pressure. Like everything's good, right?
Everything's good.
41, have a heart attack.
That's great.
Doc says nothing you could have done about his genetics. I have what he called a sticky vessel. So I did a calcium test 2 years ago, right? My mom got me one, which is where they insurance doesn't cover it. It's an elective diagnostic exam. They bring you in, inject dye into your body, and scan your whole body for blockages, for any kind of plaque buildup.
Okay.
Best score you can get is a 0. Aced it with a 0 2 years ago. Asked the doc, I'm like, what's going on? He says, the majority of people, when they have blockages, is hard plaque. That's what you get. That's why the calcium test shows up. The calcium deposit is hard plaque. I didn't have any hard plaque. Mine was soft plaque, which most people just flush out of their system. But because of this sticky vessel,
that started to clog.
It attracts the soft plaque. Hard plaque shows up. Hard plaque from bad cholesterol, eating like crap. Like that's where people get blockages. That's what those tests are designed to pick up on. So,
and that's so scary.
But I didn't even feel bad before it happened. So I got up Friday morning, went to the gym, deadlifted, did a leg workout, went and ate lunch.
You're that right legs.
Yeah, we did. I need more work on. We'd eaten my whole yard. Took my dog for ice cream. Took a nap, and then me and Ronnie got up and went to Boopaloo's, the little bar down there on the river. That weekend was the Fireman's Poker Run, which is a big fundraiser for the fire department.
It's huge.
So we went down there to buy a poker hand, and while we was there, I was like, I just felt weird. I'm like, man, something. I had this little voice in my head. Hey, something ain't right. Something ain't right. And that's the only way I can describe it. It felt weird. Had a little bit of tightness right here, and I'm like, oh, this ain't happening, right? So I said, I had one of the firemen check my blood pressure, and it was 198 over something. I don't remember what it was. And he's like, man, you should go lay down. I said, no, I think I'm gonna go to the hospital. And showed up at the hospital about 7:30, and they almost sent me home. They did 3 EKGs and a bunch of blood work, and they're like, the doc's exact words was, I wish my blood work looked as good as yours. That's what she told me. Like everything looked good. And I'm like, I don't know.
Which hospital again?
North Oaks. Yeah. My wife was like, look, he's got a history of heart problems. And I'm like, yeah, look, for me to tell my wife to bring me to the hospital, like, I'm telling you, something's wrong.
Yeah.
So she was good. She's like, okay, well, look, she says every now and then, she said it's not often because our tests are good now. She said, but every now and then the little cardiac enzyme they look for to elevate, she said it's delayed. So they waited about an hour, took my blood again, did another test, and it was elevated at that point. put me in, admitted me that night. And then Saturday about 2:00, cardiologist came in, did an angiogram, told me I had a blockage on my widowmaker, 80%.
Holy shit.
And I never got short of breath, never got dizzy, never got lightheaded. I was deadlifting that morning, like felt perfectly fine. And
so sick.
Bro, you just unlocked the biggest fear. Thank you.
Man, it was imagine laying there in the bed all night, just laying there and you hooked up. Of course you hooked up to all this stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, are you kidding me? Like, how did I get here? Like, and you're just laying there waiting on something to happen. Like, are they gonna fix me or I'm gonna crash out? Which one is it? And
God, man.
So I'm actually gonna tomorrow morning will be the first time I go back to the gym. Doctor cleared me. I can start getting into that. So, but I've lost 26 pounds since Friday. I've shrunk since I had the heart attack. Like, I ain't had much of an appetite.
Yeah, I could see medicine, that.
But almost 26 pounds in 2 weeks.
That's wild.
Like, look at me. Look at this shirt. Like, I'm all, and I was just, and it's funny because about 2 months ago, I was like, all right, I'm about to get back serious in the gym.
20 pounds, yeah.
I was putting on some size, getting my strength back, I upped my calories and my protein. Like, I'm cruising along. And then
making a conscious effort to gain some weight.
Yeah, and now I'm back skinny fat again. I don't know.
No, man, that's scary. That's definitely one too where, just health and gym and everything. I'm a CrossFit nerd and like that's what I love to do 5-6 days a week minimum. We like to run. You get the race bibs and stuff in here. That's our hobby as a family, go run 5Ks and all that stuff. We're that annoying group. And that's my thing. I'm like, there was one time in life where I was like 270 pounds, right? And then like now I walk around like 185. And between 185 and 190. Like that's where I walk around at now.
He's not joking.
And then
and so it was when I saw him after, it's crazy.
And that's the thing. And it's just like, it scares me. I'm like, I do same thing. I know what I'm taking. I keep track of how much processed food I actually take in. I'm just try to avoid that stuff. I'm like, when am I going to cheat? All right. Usually like lunch on a Saturday, I'm like, all right, let's eat like crap one meal, whatever, and then balance out. And it's like, it just doesn't matter. Like you can't fight genetics, like no matter what.
It's the saying, nobody's driving a bus. We're all just passengers in the back.
Yeah.
And Doc said that. He literally said nothing you could have done. So so that's kind of disheartening.
I guess the smartest thing you could have done was have enough self-awareness to ask a guy, hey, can you check my blood pressure?
Yeah. No,
that right there, where you'd have been like, oh, you know what? If you were drinking some beer, sometimes I get heartburn whenever I drink some beer, and like, man, I don't know.
Do you get heartburn
for that? No, I have heartburn. Yeah, normal, but I didn't have it for that.
That's why we just wondering.
Yeah, no, I get heartburn. Yes,
he talks about that.
Which actually I got heartburn. When I do, I'm such a wuss.
I need to send a message to the doctor because I don't think I can take the omeprazole, like Prilosec, and there's one other one I can't take because it'll interact with my Plavix. They got me on. I read that on the internet. There's a lot of over the counter stuff I'm not supposed to take anymore, so I need to find an alternative to that.
Oh, like from here on forever type thing?
So they have me on 4 medicines. He said I will be on aspirin and Plavix for the rest of my life. The statin and the beta blocker, he said, hopefully he can get me off of in 6 months. In my,
my next question is like, what would have to happen for me to not take these for the rest of my life? I am so scared of medicine.
I hate medicine.
I hate it.
This is the first prescription medicine I've ever been on. Other than you get
that's different. An antibiotic is different.
But no, I've never been had any illnesses or been sick or like never had any health problems. So I hate medicine. And I asked him that, and he said, "Look, you're going to be on the aspirin and the Plavix forever." He said the other two, if you eat right, take care of yourself, and your blood work was good, we'll try to get you off of them. So the good news is the only big relief I have, because it's psychological, not mental, physical. I get over that. Psychological, it's pretty tough. But the big relief was I didn't have any damage. So they did an echocardiogram on me. I didn't have any damage whatsoever.
Oh, that's good.
So what? Because mentally it was the part that that's the part where it would mess with me, because you're just like like you said, you literally have no control over any of this stuff, and you're just like, you were lucky enough to get it. But I don't know, has it created any fears in you, just in general, like very conscious about like?
It's the psychological. It's pretty tough. Obviously your body's getting used to new meds, so that messes with you. But like, scared to death to go to the gym in the morning.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, like I know I got to do it. I want to do it. But I gotta.
But like you were doing it with 80% blockage to begin with, and now you have none.
Right.
So it's like, let's go get after it.
Right. And part of my head is like, hey man, I'm ready to go now. Right. Yeah. But yeah, that fear's there. Is like, what's going to happen? You know, when you really push yourself, you know, is it going to cause you to have another one? Like, and I know that's not. It's not supposed to, right? You know,
you should be good.
Now, you know, also thinking, you know, I might have to have a diagnostic angiogram every few years, you know, like when is it going to hit me again? Like if, you know.
But then like, that's not the worst, because if this was the worst thing, like, I mean, you're here 2 weeks after you had a freaking heart attack, dude. I mean, plain and simple. So it's like, if this is as bad as it gets and you got to go get some work done every 3 years.
Yeah, if that's as bad as it is, I'm happy, you know, but that fear is there. It's going to get worse, right? Am I going to have another one when I'm 50-something, right?
Yeah,
is this going to be, because it's
2 weeks
genetic,
after is going to be a different conversation than 2 years after.
Right. Is this going to be something that I'm, you know, I'm always going to have problems with, right? Is the next one going to cause damage, right? You know, so a lot of psychological stuff.
No, I get it.
It's tough.
I freaked out the other day. This was a couple weeks ago. You said deadlifts and talking about the heart, and I'm like, oh gosh, doing deadlifts, you know, you get the brain rush.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I stroking out? Like, I'm like about to explode, because that's happened to people before, where they end up busting a blood vessel in their head. You know?
That is my favorite exercise too, and I know it spikes your blood pressure, so I'm nervous about that. I'm gonna wait a while before I deadlift again, but that's literally my favorite exercise. Just something about picking
just
up.
do for reps and not hard, you know, and don't go as heavy.
Yeah, you know, and you know, I get this nice little they prescribe you nitroglycerin for life too to carry around with you, so in case you have another one, you pop a couple of these under your tongue, opens up all your blood vessels. So.
Yeah, if you're in LA, it'd be a different type of capsule. Right?
Yeah, well, I'm next arm day. I may pop one just to see what kind of pump it gives me for like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, not a bad idea. So. All right, Cody. So yeah, we kind of went through a lot. Some stuff heavy, some stuff light, but overall. But let's finish up. You want to do some fun questions here?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
all right. So give me your best shot here. All right. If you can be a superhero, who would it be?
Iron Man.
All right. Weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
Weirdest thing I've ever eaten. On purpose or accident?
Hit me with it. Doesn't matter.
Accident. I had a buddy in high school the night before we were going to Mardi Gras, screwed up and fried our chicken nuggets and French fries in disinfectant.
Nice.
What? Yeah. That's a funny story. I'll tell you that after that. Yeah, that was a funny poison control call too. I got laughed at, but yeah, that's the craziest thing. If you're talking about on purpose, I don't know. I mean, octopus, snake. I don't know.
I mean, just fries and disinfectant.
Yeah,
that is.
I don't think anyone's ever going to answer that one. No. Okay. Emoji you use the most when texting?
The laughy one, the crying, laughing. Yeah.
If you could have a new first name, what would it be?
If I could have a new first name,
This one always sits close to me because my parents couldn't spell. So
I don't know.
I mean, you might like Cody.
I do like Cody. I'm trying to think of something. I don't know. It has to be something like unusual if I wanted a different name, like Lemmy or something. I don't know.
I wanted Xavier.
Xavier Belly.
Xavier, yeah.
Professor. Got it. I like it.
Well, I didn't know it was him until,
Xavier. Yeah. Sounds too smart. Place you want to visit the most?
Norway.
Right. If you could win an Olympic gold medal.
Fly.
I don't like flying. I said I don't like flying.
If you could win an Olympic gold medal, what sport would you want it to be in?
Wrestling.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Favorite book?
Favorite book would be Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, C.S. Lewis. Kids book.
Yes.
Rank these movies from worst to first. All right?
Okay.
The Godfather, Star Wars, Dumb and Dumber, and Fight Club.
From worst to first?
Yes.
Dumb and Dumber is worst. Actually, I'm going to go Godfather next. I really liked Fight Club and then Star Wars.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Never seen Star Wars in my life.
The original trilogy is pretty good, especially if you know what all they had to do to make it.
I'll take your word for it. Favorite quote?
Favorite quote? Talk less, listen more.
Like it. And the most decisive one. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes, I will eat it. Not preferred, but I'll eat it.
All right. Well, folks, appreciate.
Hold on. Hey, before we go, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it.
So I have a couple of gifts here for you.
All right.
All right. So our logo is a kettlebell because we both like to work out. Well, him more so than me, as you can see.
But you like the idea of working.
I love the idea. I love the shoes. I love it all. The 3 nails, you know what that's for?
Nope.
Represents God.
Represents God, right?
All right, try you. Yep, got it. Trinity.
And you know, the nails, and he got and then obviously, you know, that order. So this is for you.
All right. That's probably what I'm going to be working out with tomorrow, something like this too.
And this hat is also.
You know, I wore a hat today for the first time, Coach. You know, I don't normally wear a hat. I wore one today.
That's why I gave you that one.
I'll wear it.
Well, you don't have to. You just put it up there.
You can wear it hunting.
It is orange. It is orange. Yeah. Keep my son from stealing it. He's the hat guy.
And I got you a couple other things here too. Not money.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I know, huh? No, I got you some stickers as well. So there you go, brother.
Oh yeah.
So thank you for coming on, sharing with us, taking this time. I mean, I've thought about it for a long time. I put it in your head a long time ago, but really thank you for coming out and sharing this experience and sharing some experience.
Yeah, no, I had fun. I enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.
Love to do it again sometime.
Absolutely.
Maybe we can have some serious conversations next time.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's
thoughts.
always a goal. You know, we get to meet someone and then we have them back and we'll, you know, come up with a topic that's specific to whatever it is and then just go from there, come in and talk about that topic. But we did get to meet someone new, first time meeting him, someone that Ray has known for quite a few years. It revolves around coaching and being a dad, and that's no shocker that that's where their friendship flourished at. And getting to hear someone who has, you know, teenage kids, I always take in as much as I can to prepare myself for that journey that he is going through and that Ray just finished up as far as that high school stuff goes. But you know, we talked about a lot, and we got to see what it was like to chase your dreams from a childhood to following something that was passionate to his family, and then circle all the way back to marrying his high school sweetheart, and then having kids that, you know, are on their way to do big, successful things in this world. And as a parent, that's something that we do strive for, you know, just in life. And so getting a chance to sit down and talk with Cody and experience those things and learn from his lessons that he's had in life, as well as the things that he's looking forward to in the next chapter as going to Montana. And hopefully they don't have pineapple on pizza. But nonetheless, we appreciate everybody for joining us. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop us a comment below, follow us on Apple, Spotify, anywhere that you get your podcast. And until next time, we'll see you on
New Dad Order.